All right, let's continue with Battleground USA now, where there was Santorum over the weekend, but how about this early jostling among what we thought at the time was potential 2016 Republican presidential nominees. Some of it, as I said over the weekend, a little bit playful. Here's a bit of that little bit playful part. It was from Wisconsin Congressman Paul Ryan. Of course, he was on the bottom of the Republican ticket in the last election. He gleefully tweeted at Dallas Cowboys fan and New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, "Do you need a hug now?" And he did that after Ryan's Green Bay Packers beat the Cowboys in that NFL playoff game. And of course, the big news today about Ryan, though, is that he said he has ruled out a run for president in 2016. So when he tweeted that thing about Christie, we thought he might be still in. Today, he tells NBC he is not going to run for president. Let's bring in our friend from Washington, David Martosco, U.S. editor of the Daily Mail. David, I'm not surprised that Ryan is not running. Do you think there'll be a lot of people who also not surprised, or is this a bit of a shock?
No, there's no surprise at all. I mean, Ryan has just got himself appointed to a very powerful and influential committee chairmanship in the House of Representatives. He'd be a fool to leave that. And we all know he's a budget hawk. He's a numbers guy. I mean, this is the ultimate green eye shade politician with a blue pencil in his hand. He's not going to run for higher office, at least not until he's had a chance to reform the U.S. budget in a way that's in line with his values. And frankly, he's not even the most likely candidate from Wisconsin to run.
Yeah,
I mean, you've got Scott Walker hanging around, hiring political staffers, you know, basically auditioning campaign managers. Walker's got some problems, too. I mean, he can't raise money like Jeb Bush can or like Mitt Romney can. And he is the ultimate catnip for labor unions. I mean, he runs for president, and you're going to see labor unions spend themselves $600 to $700 million to try to defeat him. It's going to bring them out of the woodwork like nobody's business. And I think Republicans understand that Walker is catnip for the unions, and if they put him at the top or even at the bottom of a presidential ticket, it makes the road to the White House much, much harder for Republicans.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk a little bit about the shots Rick Santorum is taking at people at this point in time. It's pretty obvious we've got sort of two emerging groups of candidates. We have those sort of the establishment, centrist types, the Jeb Bush, Chris Christie. And here's Santorum, I guess, trying to establish himself as the guy who would appeal to anybody who likes Mike Huckabee, anybody who likes Ted Cruz, the group that is more on the movement kind of Republicans, Tea Parties, etc. Is Santorum offside calling Ron Paul and Ted Cruz bomb throwers?
Well, I think he's trying to clear a little bit of space out for himself. I mean, Santorum has always been a cultural conservative, but he's sort of the kind, gentle, pastoral guy. He's not a very high, hard-charging rhetoric politician like Cruz or Rand Paul is. And frankly, for that reason, I don't think he's going anywhere. The milquetoast of the Republican Party right now is at the center. It is Mitt Romney. It is Jeb Bush. These guys don't take a lot of risks, even calculated ones. So for Santorum to be a conservative who doesn't take a lot of risks and criticizes other people for being outspoken, I mean, it's just a mismatch. He's not going to go anywhere. And frankly, he's never gone anywhere since he lost his Senate race 6 years after he won his first seat. So I think he's a non-factor, frankly. And if I'm Ted Cruz, I'm like, thanks, Rick, keep it coming. You know, the more you criticize me, the better I look in the Bible Belt, frankly.
Among that group I just mentioned, let's say I'm going to put Cruz, Huckabee, and Santorum all together. Who do you think is the more credible challenge if they can get the money this time next year?
Well, if he can get the money, frankly, I think Cruz is by far the more formidable challenge. Huckabee in a distant second place. I mean, Cruz has got a PAC in place run by his former college roommate and law school roommate, David Panton, that is already raising money hand over fist. I would predict Ted Cruz is going to be one of the last two Republicans standing for the nomination, not because he's necessarily going to win a lot of delegates, but because he's incredibly stubborn and single-minded and driven. He's going to be sort of like the Ron Paul from last time around, who refused to leave until it was obvious he couldn't win. So, and the corollary here for political folks like me is the longer you stay in, the more money you can raise. So he's going to raise just tons and tons of buckets full of money hand over fist. And I think unless Huckabee comes out of the gate really charging hard and can win Iowa in a walk, his candidacy is going to evaporate very quickly, and Cruz will swoop in to fill that vacuum. So I think Cruz is by far the most marketable and electable of the hard-charging conservatives. Will he win? I don't think so, but he's going to stick around for a very, very long time.
David Martosco is the U.S. editor of the Daily Mail online. Check it out. Thank you so much, David. Appreciate it.